You see it in the way he's shaking his head. He thinking, you know what? This is going to be big. This is going to be bold. I'm not going to swap queens. I'm going to win this game. And then a couple of moves later, he is the amount of regret making that. But you have to move past that. I find this impossible to do over a chessboard. If you realize you've made a mistake, moving past that mistake while you're still playing the same game, in my opinion, is one of the hardest things you can do in chess. It is so difficult to do.
So difficult. And Firouzja, the one thing that might have held him back in his chess career is that inability to shift gears. He's always going for checkmate. He never wants endgames. He's all about the attack. But in Armageddon, you need to use the draw up your sleeve with black to bully the opponent. That queen trade that he declined might come back to haunt him, but still not easy. This position still so irrational. Queens, kings, everything just up in the air. Who is safer? Material count is level right now, but that might not stay the case for much longer. Hikaru Nakamura now tanking before pushing a pawn forward, avoiding any checks from the black queen. Very slow, subtle move there, but will that change the momentum back to Firouzja's hands now?
Gives the move to black right now, and Firouzja is considering taking that central e5 pawn which is hanging, which will allow white to pick up pawns of their own as well. f7 would be weak, but I love this move by the king. It sort of frees up the rook to come and start chasing the white queen from that a file, getting away from any checks on the board and trying to hide on the other flank on the right side, perhaps marching from e7 to f8.
Now Hikaru looks a bit desperate. I think he missed this one. The white queen suddenly looks a bit offside, needs to get back into the game, but it's not going to be an easy path for her. 4 minutes now and counting for Hikaru.
It's like Hikaru now needs time. The queen on a7 feels a bit offside. The rook on h1 isn't in the game at the moment. Hikaru can do all sorts of great things, but he needs to get his pieces in position, and we have a blunderer.
The white queen is trapped. The black queen is going to save itself with a check. The next move, the black rook is going to slide into the corner. The white king suddenly is hit as well. That is a crazy decision by Hikaru Nakamura. He's blown it in one move.
He sees it. Under pressure, he was looking for the way through, and unfortunately, it's backfired in spectacular fashion. The next move, the rook slides across, and Hikaru's now facing down the prospect of losing his queen.
And you could even pick up the rook on h1 and wrap up matters right now. Rook 8, go for the queen, go for the rook, and there's frustration on Hikaru. He got that chance, he got that opportunity with Alilera 2 minutes on the clock, and there was a huge gift at such a critical moment.
Free rook. Forget the queen at this point. Like, the queen would be a trade. The rook is free on h1. Options abound. It looks like rook a8 is the decision made. And compared to queen takes h1, I'm guessing that's the reason we have the X against that move. But that still looks pretty darn strong for black.
Yeah, he just didn't want to calculate there, Firouzja. He wanted to be practical. Queen takes rook on h1 would have allowed some nasty checks, some scary checks. Here we're going to see a queen trade. Slightly convoluted. The black queen gives itself up for one rook. And there we go. The white queen drops off too. But the white knight is actually trapped in the corner. Cannot have saved itself, but it would have been pinned. Black has an extra knight. Firouzja now, with just under 2 minutes, is a huge favorite to take this game.
But what happens? Is he going to play this on? Will Hikaru try to flag? 1 minute 45 is quite a bit of time. And look at that. Firouzja up a piece. He's happy with the repetition. A draw is as good as a win. Keeps everything under control. Makes those small moves on his mouse, right? Doesn't want to lose out on time. And Hikaru, he's got any entering squares. He's trying to flag Firouzja.
He's playing a lot more. It's almost like not swapping the queens and risking the game there. Shocked Firouzja into going, oh yes, I need to change gears here. And you can see him playing significantly more practical chess at this point, realizing that he can bully his opponent with the use of the Armageddon rules, like you said, David. And this is far, far more practical than we saw even minutes ago.
Yeah, and in the meantime, Firouzja has been very slow the last few moves. He's trying to checkmate the white king, but this last pawn check has liberated a square for the white king to step up and into on e5. Firouzja thought he was winning on the spot, thought he could end it there and then, but it's not over yet.
He has to make a move. He's just taking so long to play, and that's what Hikaru's done now. He's created some escape squares for the king. The game does go on. Hikaru has a bunch of pawns, 3 extra pawns for that knight. Firouzja desperately trying to repeat the position.
Hikaru can't repeat. He's got to push his king to a different square, maybe retreat it. And yes, it's not objectively correct, but it's all about the clock. His last chance, 1 minute. This is touch and go. This is still anyone's game if Hikaru can induce a blunder or catch Firouzja in a tricky pre-move.
But I look at him and it's almost a feeling, is Hikaru about to throw in the towel? Is he about to resign? He does continue with the repetition, now changes his mind. Game on.
He had to try something. This isn't ideal. The White King now slightly offside, misplaced. The Black Rook is going pawn hunting. The Black Knight is going to hold the other half of the board. This is a clearly winning position for Alilera Firouzja, but does he have enough time? Under the 1 minute mark now.
Gives a check, forcing a decision with the king, gets his own king. Look at the speed with which Hikaru is playing, just making sure that Alireza gets no time to think on Hikaru's clock there. Gives a check, comes back with the rook. Alireza trying to keep his pieces close, making those short moves.
Ooh, and Hikaru's pawns are getting very far forward. Alireza might be getting nervous. 45 seconds this time. The White Rook pinning the Black Knight. Hikaru can force a draw, but again, it's not enough. And a big mistake there. The Black Knight is coming around. It's going to be checkmate. The White King is mated. There was Knight A6 check and a mate.
That was a checkmate in 2, which was missed, but there is 37 seconds on the clock, and this is once again flagging territory. What a huge opportunity there. Firouzja had to book his spot. And once again, the fight is on.
The fight is on. It's all about the clock. Hikaru still has some time in the bank. It might make sense to slow down, wait for 10 seconds, and then try and trick Firouzja, but here the position repeating itself. Hikaru cannot let that happen. Under 30 seconds now, but still the rook's on the board. Still tricky for Firouzja.
Gives a check, comes back. And as long as the rooks are alive, the game goes on. And there we've got Firouzja trying to repeat at every single opportunity. The
Struggling to make
Knight
progress though.
coming in. More checkmating patterns. He doesn't even want to try.
Here we go. Firouzja just wants the draw, but he's dropped a pawn and he gets the White Rook off the board. So sneaky from Firouzja. That is going to end the game. It's going to be a draw now, guaranteed.
And there is the draw that clinches it with 20 seconds left to go on the clock. Alireza Firouzja will take the Armageddon game and move on to the quarterfinals here at the ESports World Cup. Hikaru Nakamura drops to the lower bracket match within the group. He still has the possibility of joining Firouzja in the quarterfinals, but he's going to have to do it the long way.
The second sign-up by Team Falcons is the first to qualify for the quarterfinals, and what an Armageddon it was.